With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started here with Ed Henderson. Ed, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Nolan. Happy 4th of July weekend to you. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy 4th.
Obviously, with camp getting underway, just a couple of days under your belt so far, but can you identify maybe one or two positive impressions that you've gotten from camp so far?
Yeah, I think there's been a few. I think a lot of guys seem pretty locked in their work. Everyone's working extremely hard. I think everyone kind of knows that it's going to be a pretty quick process here. And guys have been getting after it, in Arizona, you can take your time a little bit because you have so many days to work with. We don't have that anymore. So to see the intensity and people getting after it, it's been a great thing to see. And it's holding me accountable too, because I know that if everyone, I got to go hard, I got to set the example. And if these guys are going to go hard, then I got to stay with them.
Thanks, Nolan.
Nick, go ahead.
Hey, Nolan, speaking of getting after it right away, you're already in against Herman today. First of all, the line drive to left field, was that a single or was that an out?
I think it's a line out, but yeah, I think it's a line out, but I hit it hard.
But you, like, he came. I know. I'm sure he didn't do this on purpose, obviously. So I'm not trying to. But he came up and in. Does it feel? But did that make it feel real though? All of a sudden.
Yeah, I think it was good to get checked up and in again. You obviously don't want to get thrown up near there, but it happens. And, Denver's dry. The ball gets a little slippery. But honestly, I was able to get out of the way. I think that was a good sign for me, that I'm loading early enough to recognize that it's coming near me and I was able to move. Early BPs, it's kind of hard to get away from the ball because you don't see the ball very good. And I was able to see it pretty good there. And, thank God I was able to get away. But it was good to get checked. It was good to get that one out of the way.
And does it feel like, do you have to adjust to competition again? Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between taking ground ball practice and like actually being in against a real pitcher. Does it feel like you need to adjust to competition again?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, physically, from a physical standpoint, I'm ready. There's no doubt about that. I'm ready to go. But as timing and pitchers and recognizing and all that, I have, I still have some time to go with that. I still got to get better there. But today it was good. It was a good step. It was still a little different. I wish the L screen wasn't in front of Marquez, and we had that like matte thing for BP, and that was kind of white. So once we get all that out of there and we actually have game at bats, that's when we're really going to feel that environment. But it was good. It was a good first day. I was excited to face live again, and I think in spring training I'm usually used to taking the first couple days, like just trying to see it. I'm trying to see where my swing is against this 95, and Marquez is a really good pitcher, so it was good to see a good guy like that right away.
And then finally, and in all seriousness here, like when you're shut down and you're back home, do you get to does wiffle ball help you get out that energy, that competitive energy? Are you doing that just for fun, or do you let it loose? Is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely take it serious. I mean, we're definitely arguing and fighting and probably cursing at each other when we probably shouldn't be, but. I think it's good. I mean, those days, we were looking forward to those days. And during quarantine, as we all know, there weren't too many days to look forward to. So it was always nice to have that to look forward to and play, compete against your brothers and cousins. And honestly, losing against them is just as bad as losing against like the Dodgers, just because you're never going to forget, they're never going to let it down. So it was good to get out there and good to compete again.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Patrick Saunders.
Hey, no, just to follow up on Herman, luckily you got out of the way of the pitch that got away from. I know you weren't up against him very long, but what did his stuff look like to you for so early in camp after such a long layup? Was his stuff as electric as always?
Yeah. I mean, Marquez's fastball, I mean, it's so hard to pick up. It does because he's so smooth with his actions. It almost seems like a changeup's coming, and then it's like 97. He's just he's a very talented pitcher. His stuff was good. Obviously, he would probably say he's got stuff to work on, but as far as this electricity, it was definitely there. And he jammed me one time. I hit a ball foul. I mean, he got in on me, and but it was good. It was good to see him, and I think Marquez has a chance to be a really good pitcher for a long time, and he just got to continue to get better.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Tracy Ringolsby.
Nolan, when Josh was in the minor leagues, you remained pretty quiet about him and didn't seem to have the relationship that you guys really do have. Now that he's in camp with you for the second year in a row, now that he was on your teammate last year, is it more relaxing for you to be with him? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think when he was in the minors, he was playing well and he was moving up pretty quick. And I never wanted to claim that or anything. That's why I never said anything, because that was all his hard work. So I never really talked about him. I wanted him to earn it here, and that's what he did. So, but now that he's here, it's been really fun. And, during the whole quarantine, it was me, him, and my brother was working out every day. And I'm happy he's here. He's worked extremely hard. He's ready to go too. I know that, but for sure. I mean, it's great to have him here. It's relaxing. He keeps it light. We still hang out at night too. And I'm happy he's here. He's earned it. And he's done a really good job, and he's just got to continue to work and continue to grow.
How much of a pleasure was it for you that the Rockies actually went out and signed him? Obviously he didn't have the high profile you had when he came out of college, but they went out and signed him. Was that a good feeling on your part to think he was going to be in the organization with you?
Yeah, well, I think that was a credit to Bill Schmidt and John Lukens and the scouts that saw him. And I can only put it in a word. They have to go with their gut, and they did. And now, that's a credit to Bill Schmidt and the Rockies for listening and agreeing that he's pretty good. And something about Josh is that his work ethic is always there. And in the minor leagues, guy that most guys that sign kind of late or they're free agent signings are usually not the hardest workers. And I knew Josh would be. So it was great to see him earn it. And that's a credit to Bill Schmidt and those guys.
Did Schmidt ask you about him at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it. Obviously I was vouching for him, but Bill ended up making the decision, and he's made really great decisions. And I think he made one there too.
Thank you.
Thomas Harding.
Yeah, Nolan, with the amount of time that you have, is not the normal amount of time. Do you expect to go into the regular season with your normal swing, looking for power, or would you maybe even in the beginning kind of fillet some balls the other way more than you would under normal circumstances?
No, I'm going to go out there and try to let it rip. I think as a hitter, these pitchers are so good. I'm not talented enough to shoot the ball to right when I want. I have to. These pitchers are the best in the game, and you just got to be at your best. And I'm gonna let it fly like I always have, and try to do the best I can. Hit the ball hard. That's my goal, is hit the ball hard and let the chips fall where they may. But it's going to be challenging with the whole 60 games, which I told you earlier, with the fact that, you can have a great week and then the next week you have a bad week, and then it's like, you're going to see your average drop up and down. And I think that's where I think the mental toughness is going to come in, because you can't worry about those things. You just got to try to find a way to win those ball games, because every game counts is huge. So, but yeah, I believe hopefully I get more live BPs here and get ready. Like I said, my body's ready. I just need to get my timing down. And once that's down, I feel like I can, do what I need to do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Danilo.
Hey, Nolan. So some national media, fans, and people around the game have talked about how they don't view a 60-game season as being legitimate. Being that you're a face of the game and one of the most popular players in Major League Baseball, I'm curious as to your opinion. Do you view a 60-game season as legitimate? And with that, if the Rockies were to go on a run and do something be successful, do you consider that legitimate in a shortened season?
Yeah, Listen, I understand both arguments, and 162 is a lot more than 60, right? It's a lot of games. It's 102 extra games. So I get that people are, but this is what it is this year. This is what it is. And if we have a chance to win a World Series and a chance to get to the playoffs, I'm all about it. So I think it's legitimate. We are here. If it wasn't legitimate, I think a lot of guys wouldn't be here. So it is what it counts. And I want to win. I think the goal is always to win, and there's a chance to win a World Series, and I think that should be the goal.
Jane?
Hi, Nolan. This is Janie McCauley in the Bay Area. Thanks for doing this.
No
Hope you're well. The last couple of days, we've seen positive tests. We've seen high-profile guys opting out of playing this season. And, Buster Posey said yesterday he still has serious concerns. Do you just sort of have to go day by day and think of, it's a fluid situation and think of your family, but also get ready for a baseball season, knowing things could change by the minute, really?
Yeah. I can only control what I can control, and that's by getting ready. I'm going to play. I want to play. I was never hesitant about that. I talked to my family. They want me to play. And that's all. That's the only clearance I really need. I don't really need to hear it from anybody else. But as far as players opting out, like I said, I think it should be respected. I think nobody knows what they're going through, and people need to just mind their business and let them do what they may. Everyone sees things differently, so I think that needs to be respected. But I want to play. I've said this earlier too. I'm only 29 once, and I'm never going to get this time back. So I'm going to try to go as hard as I can. God willing, I stay healthy and I'm able to fight through this whole year. But, I want to play. So I'm going to be out there.
Thank you.
Nick Rothschild?
Yeah, hey, Nolan. Trevor mentioned yesterday that you two have been talking about increasing your roles as leaders on the team, challenging guys, calling people out for not doing what they should. Can you share what some of those conversations are like and maybe why you feel it's important to assert yourself more as a leader this season?
Well, I think everyone needs to assert themselves just because it's such a quick turnaround. We only got 3 weeks to get going and 60 games. So I think guys need to get checked, and I need to get checked. And, I remember talking to Story about it this offseason, like hold me accountable, and I'll hold you accountable for this season. And that's what we're doing. I think we have a lot of young players that are getting better, but we need to push them because we need them to adapt quicker since we only have 60 games. And we all need to adapt quicker. So it's just being there for them, letting them know, that I'm going to go as hard as I can to get ready for the season. And I expect you to do it if I'm going to do it. So that's kind of what we've talked about. And everyone's been working really hard and everyone seems like they're on board. The intensity right now has been really fun. And, it's tiring at the end of the nights. We're really tired, but we know it's going to pay dividends in the long run. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as quick as we can into midseason form, which is really borderline impossible during this time and during the 60-game season. So we have to push it. We have to get there. And that's what we're trying to do.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Romy, go ahead.
Hey, Nolan, you touched on this a little earlier, but with this season being more of a sprint than a marathon, certainly there's a greater sense of urgency. We can feel that. But how is the shortened season, the need to get to a hot start, how's that changed your approach to this season?
Well, I think, I think the approach is different just because if you lose early on, you could probably hopefully make it up on the back end. There's no back end no more. You got to get off to a good start. And if you get off to a good start, it's going to carry you. It's going to be huge because, everybody goes through bad streaks in baseball. And, bad streaks this year are going to be absolutely killer. So it's going to be huge for us to get off to a start. We're known for getting off to a pretty good start, and then we kind of fall off toward the end. So hopefully we can get off to a hot start and hold it. And that's the goal. But it's really important. It's extremely important. I think we're going to see some different things in the game, different pitchers, and it's just going to be such a wild time. But I'm excited for the experience, and I'm excited for us to get started.
Thank you.
Owen Perkins?
Hey, Nolan. Good to see you. I just wanted to ask, baseball players and other athletes are always thought of as role models, regardless of how much you want to be. But, with the environment you're coming back in now, with the pandemic and the protests, you guys in some ways are the highest profile role models out there. Are you sensing that? Are you seeing changes in your teammates and yourself in the game in handling that aspect of coming back in this environment?
Yeah, I think in this environment, we just got to be a good example. I think what's going on and the pandemic, it's been pretty sad and disappointing, and hopefully we can bring some, some people, bring some happiness with baseball, because I know a lot of people love baseball, especially here in Colorado. So hopefully we can do that. And, there's a lot of negativity around our country right now. And, we just got to be positive and preach love and, respect and all those things. And I think that's something we can do. And, like you said, you consider athletes as role models. It's hard to really look at myself like that because I don't like talking like that. But, I think at the end of the day, it's about being a good example, to the kids, to the younger generation, and going about it the right way, because a lot of things haven't been going about it. A lot of people haven't been going about it the right way lately. So hopefully we can do the right thing and set the example.
Thank you.
Gabe, go ahead. Gabe, USA Today. All right, we'll move to Patrick Saunders.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I was just curious how you feel after being in the kind of in the cocoon that the Rockies and MLB have made for you guys for the last couple of days, and combined with the tests we've seen around the country. Do you feel any more or less confident about the logistics of getting this done now than you did, say, a couple of days ago?
Well, I think going into the season, if you thought your routine was going to be pretty normal, I think that'd be a really bad way to go about this season. I think going into the season, I knew nothing would be the same, really. So my mental has just been kind of about that. Like, it is what it is. This is how the season's going to go. I feel like, people might not like this opinion. My personal opinion, I think it's safer that we're playing and we're on our teammates instead of being on our own. When you have things to look forward to, which we do, it keeps you accountable. During quarantine, when you're away, when you don't have anything to look forward to, there's no end game. You kind of just don't know what to do. You start to lose sight. You start to get lazy with how you're going about your business. When you're here around the guys, you have to focus and you have to think about them, and you got to do the little things. And that's what I've been doing, trying to stay safe and trying to keep myself healthy and keep my teammates healthy. So I think it's important that we play. That is my opinion. I understand that it's a tough situation, but I think it's better to be here than for me to be on my own.
Thank you.
Nick Rook.
Hey, Nolan, I know it's early, but what are your first impressions so far of Matt Kemp? And then also, what were your impressions before this season started of him?
Well, Matty, we hit this offseason. We got to work out together. He came down to Southern California, and we worked out together. He texted me, and he said he was going to be in town. And so we ran, we lifted together. And it was really fun. He was trying to sign with the team, and I was really happy to hit with him and learn from him. He was the best player in our game at one point. This guy was the best player, and I know Mike Trout is now, but he was Mike Trout before Mike Trout. He was doing those things. He's a 5-tool player. And so I was really excited to learn from him, and because he was just so amazing player, and obviously he's done a lot of damage against us. And so I've gotten to know him a little bit, and I've really enjoyed my time. And his swing, he could always hit. That's something that he's just done. I don't think he's ever going to stop doing. He could just hit. And I'm excited that he's here to help us win. But there's still a little time. We still need a little more time to get going. And, I got to get to know him a little better. But it's been really good. It was fun to hit with him this offseason, and I'm happy he's here with us.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, we got two more. We'll start with Patrick Saunders and then go to Anilo for the final question. Patrick?
Hey, Nolan, Buddy was talking to us this morning about how much fun it was to watch you guys take infield late yesterday afternoon. You at third, and Trevor and Mac and Murphy at first, et cetera. Question is, how good, particularly with the maturation of Ryan McMahon at second, how good can this infield be on a day in and day out basis?
I think it could be really good. I think, Mac has done a really good job, working extremely hard, and he's gotten better every time I see him out there. And I think, seeing Story, myself, we're all working hard, and I know he doesn't want to let up. And, he's got some big shoes to follow with DJ too, right? DJ LeMahieu was, is a Gold Glove second baseman, one of the best infielders around. And but Mac's just right. He's been working hard. I love throwing him. At first, throwing at him compared to DJ was a little different, and now it's extremely comfortable. I have a lot of trust in him, a lot of confidence in him, and I think our infield defense is going to be just fine. I think we're always competitive and we always do a good job, but I think we're gonna help our pitchers a lot, and that's something we have to do because last year defensively we weren't very good, so we have to be a lot better.
Thank you.
All right, Danilo, go ahead. Final question.
Yeah, so you talked about how Matt Kemp is always going to be a great hitter. That's what he's known for. And there's been some hitter-friendly rules added to the National League here in the past couple of months with designated hitter and then the 3-batter minimum with the relief pitchers and whatnot. Obviously, the Rockies are known for their offense, Coors Field, altitude, the whole shebang. I'm just curious as to how you feel that might be an advantage for you guys potentially, given that you guys are known for producing an excessive amount of offense at times.
Yeah, I think I feel like we've always done a good job at hitting here, and I don't think the problem is hitting here. We got to be able to hit on the road. So, we last year I think we struggled a little bit on the road as a group, and we need to get better on the road. I'm not worried about home. Home, we always do good damage here, but on the road we have to get better. We have to take it to another level, and we can. There's little things to get ready. The pitch movement's obviously a problem, but we could find a way with the machine and find a way to get better, and that's something we have to do. So I think there's definitely room to grow there. But, like I said, if we can hit better on the road and play better on the road, I think we'll be in the middle of this thing.